Valley, California. Prime presents the 5th stop for the Brunswick World Team Bowling Challenge Series. Welcome to the Fountain Bowl. Our tour continues. We're here in Southern California and happy to have you with us. Hello again, everybody. Jay Randolph, along with Hall of Famer Earl Anthony. Earl, a great crowd on hand for the championship today, and we're in quest of finding the best bowling team in the world.
Well, they just might be here today, Jay. We've got 3 very talented teams, and the team in 3rd spot that qualified today is called Bowlers Connection, captained by Eddie Stubbs. And this team struggled a little bit in the match play. When it started, they bowled 120 the first game, fell from 7th all the way to 10th, showed their courage, fought all the way back into 3rd place, but they're going against a very powerful team. One of the most talented teams we've ever had on the telecast, the Shop, captained by Leighton Shirley. This team is 5 guys that can play anywhere. Today we find out if they can win as a team. The leading team today, the Bowlers Depot team, captained by Charlie Whitaker. This team is a team that could surprise everybody with their talent. You don't see a lot of talent if you look at the names, but when you see them in action, they're the team to beat.
And that's what the Baker system is all about, of course. Joining us today, Damon Cardwell. He'll be sitting down with the bowlers, getting the insights as we go through this championship. Damon, let's go to you.
Well, thank you, Jay. It was a big weekend here in Fountain Valley. 60 teams showed up to play for this title. That included teams from Oregon, Arizona, Washington, and Utah. It's almost twice the size of the field that this event drew last year. Now, we've got good, solid teams for the show. Stay tuned, because the first match will feature Bowlers Connection taking on the Shop from Puyallup, Washington.
Connection and the Shop, and you're looking at Gene Azumi. He's a bowling center promotions manager, the Regal Lanes in Orange County, 32 years of age. And a late 10.
Well, the pin action was fantastic. He's one of the few players that's playing an outside line. He's playing right up the 2nd arrow. And here's a guy right here, tremendous talent, Purvis Granger. Watch the difference in the line, but tremendous ball speed. He'll be right around the 3rd arrow, throwing it really hard.
And Purvis can't get that 7 to go down. Purvis, 30 years of age now. Pro Shop manager, Federal Way out in the Seattle, Washington area. 300 games in his career, 2 PBA 2nd place finishes on the national tour over the years.
This whole team is so talented, it's just hard to imagine that they couldn't beat just about anybody they wanted to, Jay.
Well, when you look at these lineups, certainly you can tell how much talent they have. Our lineups presented by Contour Power Grips. There's Bowlers Connection. Here's Borland. Just a little bit high. He leaves the 7.
Rob, he's a big man, big, strong guy, especially up in the shoulder and chest area, and he uses that strength to advantage. When he gets to the foul line, he will kind of creeps up to the foul line very carefully and very slowly, gets himself in position, then uses that upper body strength to develop ball speed, but he gets a lot of heavy roll on the ball.
Bob's 38 years old. A unit manager for Southern California Edison from Rialto, California. And Contour Power Grips, pioneers of the finger grip industry, presenting this team lineup to you from the Shop. Leighton Shirley. And he got the kick.
Carry the 8-pin off the wall, the head pin going to the wall, coming all the way back across. Leighton Shirley, we'll give you a chance later to look at his style. Here's another look at that shot again. Watch what happens. Watch the ball hits very high and hard on the head pin. Head pin goes to the wall, comes all the way back across, and kicks out the 8-pin.
This is Bruce Harner with a strike. Bruce, who works for the LA Times.
And And here's a real stylist right here. This guy here, you watch his style. If you want to copy a style, Fred Matson's the one to copy. You want the upright stance, the ball right in the right position, the good free arm swing, good balance at the foul line, and generally, like that, good pin reaction.
Yes, indeed. That's how he earned 6 PBA regional titles over the years.
We're going to take another look at that style, and here it is from the side. You see the free swing just above shoulder high. Watch the balance at the foul line when he goes through the shot here. Good knee bend, the shoulders right over the knee. That's perfect, absolutely perfect position to be in.
That was Eddie Stubbs. Eddie, who is a pro shop owner at Bowlers Connection, the team sponsor of this group.
Eddie, like a lot of guys, Jay, switching to a ball that won't cover the spares.
He's from Temple City, California. This is Hugh Miller. Hugh, a pro bowler with 6 national titles, 14 regional PBA titles, from Seattle, Washington. The lefty. No problem.
Well, he carried it like a righty. Got the crossover. He was one of those guys that can overpower a lane condition. He has a lot of ball speed, and he can develop naturally a lot of ball speed. He can develop even more if he needs it. So he can take a condition that's hard to play and just throw the ball so hard he can overpower it.
The shop up by 20. Here is Arcadio Jr. Aguayo. And Aguayo gets them all. He's 26. He's from El Monte, California. And the anchor man now for the shop, Len Blakey, 23 years old.
We're going to, if we get the opportunity, we're going to try to show you this guy's wrist, how he rolls his wrist around the ball. It's one of the strongest releases you'll ever see in a bowler.
And he gets a break as they all go down. So both these clubs starting very hot in our Brunswick World Team Bowling Challenge. We'll return to the Fountain Bowl here in Fountain Valley, California, right after these messages. Second time at the line. 60 teams from 6 states participating here this week. They came from as far away as Louisiana. A strike for Azumi. They're fired up.
This team is fired up. Remember, this is the team that bowled 120 in their first game of match play in the Baker system and came back to make the telecast with only 6 matches to go from 10th. They came back to 3rd. So they've got the courage to play this game in this format, and they're ready to go.
Purvis Granger has it on the way.
Well, if you've got to miss, that's the way you want to miss. You want to keep the ball in play. That ball had a chance. He got a little bit of the head pin. If he'd got maybe 1/8 of an inch more, he probably would have carried the wall shot. As it is, he leaves only the 2 pin. This is almost an automatic spare for someone like Purvis Granger. He'll throw it real hard, real straight, right at it. Just like that.
Our Brunswick World Team Bowling Challenge for 94 and 95 with the expanded national schedule and more international involvement. Here is Borland.
Rob Borland. This guy can really get some revs on the ball. We're going to watch him here. This will be a good look at him. The camera angle is good, and we'll get it from the side a little bit. He goes to fish. He kind of creeps to the foul line, uses that upper body strength and tremendous rotation on the ball. That one just went a little early for him. He left a 3-6-10.
Our High Games Bowlers Journal of L.A., followed by Desert Bowler of Mesa, Arizona, and the shop. The High Series to Jim Van Berber from Canyon, California. Eddie Stubbs and Dan Roach doing very well.
All right, cross lane here at the spare. He wants to get the ball between the 3 and the 6 pin. Just like that. Here's another guy who uses upper body strength. Leighton Shirley. He's very tall, about 6'4", 6'5". He has a short backswing for a big man, but he uses that tremendous strength he has in his upper body to get the revolutions and the ball speed he needs. Is right there. See that short swing, but that tremendous lift with the ball.
They got a bit of a break there as the 7 finally went down and the 10 is standing.
That could have been a little bit of anything there. He got the ball in behind the head pin at half pocket. That tremendous break he gets on the ball, all that side rotation. He got the ball well down the lane, but when it did grip the lane and come in, it was behind the head pin or late into the pocket area, and he almost had the 7-10. Could have been a strike. Leighton, another good spare shooter. He'll throw it pretty hard, pretty straight. Covers the 10. Straight for Leighton is when you only hook at 15 boards instead of 30.
And the shop right now is up by 21. More than $18,000 in the prize fund here this week, and the championship team goes on to Reno.
And a contrast in styles. Bruce Harner, another left-hander, but he's big and strong. But what he does is he walks from the middle of the approach to the left-hand corner and throws it right up at him real hard. A lot of rotation on the ball, but he throws it so hard it doesn't have a chance to hook. So he generally just overpowers the lane condition. Here he leaves the 4-7. He'll stand to the right, go across the center of the lane with the ball, and try to keep it fairly hard and straight.
The shop from Washington, qualifying average 209, Baker average 196. Fred Mattson. All right.
Well, we talked about, there are 60 teams from 6 different states, and as you mentioned, Jay, as far away as Louisiana, and that shows you how popular these tournaments are. Now, we're getting to the point now, if you don't get your reservations in early, you can get shut out, and that's what happened here. The field was full. Teams wanted to get in. It was just too late, so get them in early, folks, if you want to play in this. This is one of the most exciting tournaments in the world right now, and when we get to Reno, we're going to have teams from all over the world, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Here we have the 4-6-10. There's another look at that shot right through the middle of the head pin. And unfortunately, he didn't get that 4 to go. He's going to go cross lane with ball speed. Hope he can bounce him, and it doesn't happen.
Our upcoming tournament in Tacoma is already sold out. And, of course, our next stop coming up the first weekend in December. We'll see Dick Weber and all the family at Weber's St. Charles Lanes right outside of St. Louis.
Looking forward to that. Hugh Miller right up the second arrow. A lot of ball speed. Doesn't quite get it back. Leaves only the 3-pin. He was happy with that result. He wasn't happy with the shot, but when someone of that caliber can miss a little bit and get away with an easy spare, he's not going to be unhappy. Let me give you very quickly the format here. It's 6 games. All 60 teams bowled 6 games yesterday, Saturday. The total pinfall is what gets you to this position. In other words, the top 10, and then the 10 teams start today going to Baker match play. They bowl 9 two-game matches against the other 9 teams in the field, and there are bonus pins involved. I'll make this brief. The top 3 teams, based on their pinfall that carried over from Saturday, their wins and losses in the Baker system, get to this point, which is a 2-game total pin match today besides the winners. Total pins for 2 games. You can start poorly and still get back into it, as we've seen happen so many times, Jay. A team gets a little nervous to start out. They get pumped up, get it going, and that's what this team did. Remember, in the Baker play, when they got into match play, they struggled. They came back very strong. Here's another look at that last shot. He gives it a lot of room. Gets tremendous rotation, just enough of the head pin. You see how that ball drives into the pocket, gets part of the 5-pin even.
Junior Aguayo, the anchor man for Bowlers Connection. And that one didn't get up. Got a lot of top bowlers competing here, Earl, this week. Mike Taylor, the high game at 279. And we'll be seeing him, of course, coming up.
Some of those top bowlers you're talking about, Jay. Mark Baker, former touring player, a winner on the tour.
Yeah, Barry Asher, Alvin Liu, Ernie Schlegel was here this week. And we saw Eric Forkel, the recent winner of the Brunswick World Open, as well as Mike McGrath, ABC and PBA Hall of Famer Jess Dayrock.
This was probably, I was here all day Saturday watching the qualifying rounds, and of course we watched some of the match play today, and I would say this is the strongest overall field I think we've ever had, Jay. And you know, when you consider the number of really quality players, amateur and professional alike, that were entered here, this has to be one of the true tests for any team to get this far. They had to really beat some good players.
And Lenny Blakey right here leaves the 1-2-4-7.
We're going to take a look at Lenny Blakey's release, and this is one of the more powerful releases you'll ever see. This is a fine athlete, very strong. Watch at the bottom. The wrist rolls under the ball. Tremendous power. Unfortunately, sometimes you don't know where that ball's going when you rotate it that hard. And Lenny, being the anchor man for this team, has the ability to throw a lot of strikes, but sometimes he can get in a lot of trouble too. So if he's confident and the lane condition lets him, he can strike forever. Very strong. If he needs to, he can throw the ball very hard also. You can see the rotation on the ball. It's got motor on it.
Over adjusted a little bit there. Left the 6-10. It off in the second game for the shop.
Now we know, we find out if there's any difference between the lanes, see how well the bowlers adjust, if there is. And if it's going to favor anybody, it's going to favor the 5 guys that are bowling on the team that's called the shop, because they have the most experience. They've bowled on a variety of conditions all around the country. All 5 of them being at one time or another members of the Professional Bowlers Association and bowling on the national tour, or at least on the regional tour. So if there's an advantage in being able to adjust, it would be with them. If there's an advantage in being pumped up and being ready to play and really wanting to win, it goes to Bowlers Connection. These guys really are into it. They want it really bad. They're 5 guys that get along well, know each other well, and they just bowl together well as a team. This is a team that has a lot of pizzazz, I guess you might say, Jay, but they're ready to go. And this guy right here is a great leadoff man. He goes pretty straight with the ball. Gene goes right up the second arrow, and he generally gets him a mark. If it's not a strike, it'll usually be a spare. Just like this. He just rolls it up into the pocket area and gets the job done.
Well, he has been very sharp.
This is a very basic game. We'll take a look at it right here. Now watch Gene. He takes a step, then he goes into the push away, and right up from that point, it's a big arm swing. But watch the balance at the foul line, the shoulders over the knee, and the heavy roll on the end. Doesn't do a lot with side turn, just a good heavy forward roll.
And a strike right there for Leighton Shirley.
The guys that throw the big hooks, like Leighton Shirley, Lenny Blakey, guys like that, they have a problem when they go from lane to lane, because the lane condition, if it's just slightly different, it makes a difference of 4 or 5 inches on their ball reaction at the other end, which is missing the head pin completely or missing the pocket from one side to the other. So the advantage is with them with experience, but in the Baker system, you only get 2 shots each game to help your team, so you better get there quick.
Well, Borland gets a break, bangs them all down.
Well, that team is ready. I mean, they're up off the bench to meet their guys, and they're pumped up, and they're having a lot of fun. And when you're having a lot of fun, good things happen.
The shop led by 33 after the first game. The lead now is 23. Fred Mattson.
Got to hurry. Now this is one of the more difficult spares we've seen that a player had to actually play. He leaves only the 2-5, but this, based on the lane surface we have right here, the condition of the lane, in other words, what I'm saying, the oil pattern, he could try to play it from the left side and slide by it. He could try to play it from the right and hook it too early and maybe just pick the 2-pin off. And he's going right down the middle of the lane. Keep an eye on it. Just did get the 5-pin. That's the kind of shot that'll make your heart pound a little bit.
The qualifying averages: Steve Gagliano, 226. Forkel, I mentioned on hand here, at 224.
Hard and straight. Look at this one. Hard and straight. A little too straight that time. Leaves a 1.369. And he just, Bruce can really zip it. Now, Mr. Harner can get it down there in a hurry, and sometimes he gets a little anxious and he just gets it down there too fast, and the ball never has a chance to grip the lane. Now, he likes to play everything right from the edge of the lane, even his spare, so he'll just move a little farther left with his feet, go a little more up the lane right at this, try to cross the head pin, get it on the left-hand side, like that. Excuse me, the right-hand side, like that.
All right, we're going to take a timeout. We'll be back with more right after this. For the shop.
Well, Hugh got another break. You know, remember he on lane 50, he kept coming in light on the head pin, just getting enough of it to leave what you might call easy spares. Here you can see him kind of going with the thing about how nervous he was by shaking his shirt there. He hit the middle of the head pin, had the 4-7 along with that 6-pin standing, and got away with it, leaving only the 6. He'll go cross lane again real hard. Try not to hook it, just to hit the pin. This is a very talented team. I already mentioned they're also very diverse. They have 2 guys that like to hook the ball a lot, and I'm talking about the shop. 3 guys that go pretty straight. Here again is the captain for this team, Eddie Stubbs. And Eddie, pretty good player. He likes to keep the ball fairly straight. He doesn't like to hook it a lot, but he can, if he wants to, hook it. But generally he likes to go fairly straight. Looks like he's having a little trouble with his thumb. He's not getting out of the ball very cleanly. You can see him trying to wipe it off like there's something is sticky or something in the thumb hole.
Wonderful crowd on hand for this Brunswick World Team Bowling Challenge today.
We're going to take a look at that release, and here he's right to this point. It looks like the ball doesn't come off his thumb very cleanly. You can see how far he lofted it out on the lane, and if it doesn't come off your thumb cleanly, you generally will pull it left, which is what happened to him.
Outstanding performances by these 2 teams to this point in the proceedings. The winner of this match goes against Bowlers Depot of San Diego for the championship, the shop leading by 27.
Now there's 2 games, total pins, and what the shop has to do is make sure they don't make any stupid mistakes. You get the big open or something like that that lets the other team back in. And that's what I'm talking about right there. You make that kind of mistake, the washout, you lose count, which is very important when you're on a spare. And not only that, but if you get the open, that's a big swing, and it's almost an even match very quickly.
Blakey, the anchor man for the shop, hasn't been able to find the groove.
No, he hasn't, but he's an excellent spare shooter. Now, he won't hook this one. He'll throw this hard and straight.
Oh.
Well, he had it in the right spot.
Yes, he did. Looked like it was going to go, and it just danced around the 10.
We'll take another look at that one. Here's the spare shot. Now watch what he does on the spare shot as opposed to that big rotate. This one, he just stays right behind it, and you see there, no rotation of the wrist. A lot of ball speed. You see him come up off his left knee because he's using that leg strength to create that ball speed.
Junior Aguayo. And down went the 7.
Well, this is when this team's going to make their move. Remember, you heard when he was talking to Damon Cardwell what they said. Junior's the man that said it. We were nervous in the first game. We got by that. We're ready now, and here they come. A mistake by the shop. They take advantage. They get the strike. Anything can happen at this point.
Purvis Granger.
It's a good shot, just a little bit high in the head pin, left only the 4-pin, and the shop now is starting to feel a little bit of pressure. They can see that the other team, Bowlers Connection, they're just having fun. They're relaxed, they're laughing, they're giving each other a little bit of the needle and getting pumped up, whereas the shop, they're very serious, and you can see that they're kind of looking down at the floor down there, sitting on the bench, and they're not real happy right now.
You talked in the opening, Earl, about the tremendous experience of the 5 men who make up the shop team. But as the folks at home can tell, and the folks here at Fountain Bowl can tell, the enthusiasm of the Bowlers Connection group, these 5 fellows from California who know each other very well, they're hanging tough.
They're not only hanging tough, but they're pumped up. They don't expect to win. They came into this thing not expecting to make the top 10, and now they don't expect to make the TV show. Now they don't expect to win this match, but they've got a real good chance of it. Look at this.
Azumi has been magnificent. Can the Bowlers Connection climb the mountain and win here over the shop? Well, we'll be back and find out. 7-pin difference in this match right now. We'll return with more of the Brunswick World Team Bowling Challenge in a moment. Scoring, the shop is up by 3. And here we go to the wire in this match with Leighton Shirley. Leighton's really grinding out there.
Well, that's another break, really. You want to think about it. You can see his reaction. He felt pretty fortunate that he didn't get the big split. He hit the middle of the head pin, left only the 4-pin. And he's talking to himself. And I think most of the players that are on the shop team right now, and this is, again, a very talented, very strong, very experienced ball club, but they're in trouble. The enthusiasm of the team that came from nowhere, you might say, bowled at 120, opening their match play, came back and fought their way back into third to make the telecast. Didn't expect to win a match here in the telecast, but look at them, folks. They're right there, and if a couple more strikes, and this match is over.
Here is Rob Borland. Smooth to the line, and he does it.
Boy, are they ready. Now you can see that. Look at the enthusiasm. They're saying, can we? Well, maybe we can. Maybe we can. Here's another look at that shot. Right over the 4th arrow. Gets it out to about 15 board. Back solid in the pocket. 10 in the pit. Now it's up to this team right here. And this is the guy that can get them started. Matson can play. He's tough. He's good in the clutch. He's got to get him going.
Bowlers Connection in the lead now, and that's a big problem.
That is a major problem. He's at 4-7-10. And this is the guy that had to do it for him, basically. He had to make him turn right here. He's bowling in that 3rd spot, and that's the guy you want to set up those last 2 players. And right now, if he doesn't pick this up, they're going to need a lot of help from the Bowlers Connection to get them back in the match, and I don't think they're going to get it from Bowlers Connection. Those guys are too ready.
Well, we have seen Bowlers Connection move into the lead here.
Here's a guy, remember last time in this lane, he threw it very hard, didn't get it up to head pin, left the 1-3-6-9. I'll bet you gets this one up there.
Bruce Harner.
He did. He made an over adjustment, hit the middle of the head pin, got the break, only the 4-pin, stopped the string, but basically that's not a bad way to stop it because he stayed clean and got good pin count. 9 count on the first shot, easy spare. Watch how much he drifts to the left here. When he starts way to the right, his footwork, he'll go way to the left, throw the ball almost down the left side of the lane. That is fair.
Bowlers Connection was 6-3 in the match play. Bowlers Connection now up by 27. How quickly it can change in the Baker system. The shop was 4-5 in match play. And on paper, they figured to be strong, but they have struggled here.
And there you can see that kind of sums it up. The reaction of Hugh Miller right there was kind of summed it up for the shop team. And what he's saying is, I just can't get the ball to react. And that's the problem they're having right here. You see, Hugh thought he made a pretty good shot. You can see him stayed over the knee, kind of posing there, and the ball just didn't react. And that was his reaction. Well, that's how it is some days. You got to give the credit where it's due, Jay.
Earl, I'm wondering, did they pick the wrong lane to finish on?
It's very possible that that could happen. As you mentioned, they do have the choice of starting lanes, and which means if you pick lane 49 to start on, you finish on 50, and vice versa. They decided to start on 50. Generally, you do that because you favor a lane, but sometimes they'll do it if they think that they are better off finishing first or finishing last, depending on how you feel emotionally, whether you feel like you'd rather put a score up there and let the other team try to beat it, or if you'd like to have them put a score up and say, I can beat it in the 10th frame. Now, and it depends on how much faith you have in your 4th and 5th place bowlers.
It's not over yet.
Not over
Stubbs.
Yet. Tough spare here, the 3-6-9-10.
The blonde bomber comes to the line.
Got to hurry. All right, now we're going to get really exciting. It's going to come down to the 10th frame, as it does so often. And I tell you what, if they ever needed Len Blakey to get the ball in play, now they need it. He has to make 2 really good shots now to have a chance.
7 pins. Lead for Bowlers Connection. Blakey, who has struggled in this match. Can he find the line?
He went straight. And he just got away from it. He tried to go fairly straight with the shot, and he can't do that with confidence. That's just not his game, and it didn't work. You see, he's not trying to really rotate it like he normally would, and this ball never had a chance. It never even got to the right side of the head pin. Leaves the 1-3-6-9. Takes the spare. it's going to really amount to is that I believe Bowlers Connection, their anchor man, is going to need a mark to win this.
Yeah, that's the way it looks.
Another guy that likes to hook the ball. So it's going to come down to Arcadio Arguello. And
this Brunswick World Team Bowling Challenge. There's lots of excitement in this opening match. Here is Junior Arguello.
Needs a mark.
Young man from Covina, California, age 26. 8 pins on 2 balls, and they win.
Well, that ought to do it, right?
Yes, indeed. And the shop, up by 33 after the first game, goes down to defeat. And what a big win for Bowlers Connection. They'll face the Bowlers Depot, San Diego, California, for our championship here this afternoon. It's a little like when you looked at this match on paper, Earl, David beating Goliath here.
You're right. That's a pretty good analogy, Jay, because the talent on the team that just got beat, the shop, was really outstanding. A phenomenally talented team. But as I mentioned earlier, they're 5 very unique talents and very great players, but can they win as a team? And they struggled in match play. They were 4 and 5. And again, here they are losing again in match play. So if there were 5 guys and you're just going out and bowling in a tournament, you'd have to bet on them. But bowling as a unit, and that's what makes team bowling great, and that's what this tournament's all about. You got to get 5 guys that can bowl together as a team and bowl well. And they just showed how to do it right there.
All right, the victory by 12 pins as Bowlers Connection of Arcadia, California gets the job done. We'll be back with Around the Bowling World, the choice of top professionals and amateurs alike. The biggest American Bowling Congress tournament ever just keeps getting bigger. At last count, 16,275 teams were entered in the 1995 ABC tournament to be held in Reno's new National Bowling Stadium. Don't miss out on a chance to participate in the largest competition ever conducted. The entry deadline is January 5th of 1995. 1-800-269-BOWL, a number to call. The ABC Hall of Fame ceremony is one of the highlights of the ABC tournament each year. Some of the sport's biggest stars are on hand to welcome new inductees into the Hall of Fame. Next year in Reno, they'll honor 2-time New York State champion Greg Griffo. He held the highest average in Syracuse ABC leagues for an amazing 30 years. Griffo will be bowling his 59th ABC tournament the same night that he's enshrined in the Hall of Fame category. The late Reverend Charles T. Caro will be recognized for his service as an ABC delegate, and he'll be inducted for his stand against the ABC's Caucasian-only rule during the first part of this century. Hiroto Hiroshima worked to create bowling opportunities for people of Japanese descent. He still serves on the ABC board at age 84. Both will be inducted into the Pioneer category. Elected to the Meritorious Service category, former ABC Executive Secretary Al Matzel. He was instrumental in the early years of the Bowling Hall of Fame and Museum in St. Louis. Matzel, who joined ABC in 1938, is now helping prepare an ABC history book. The Women's International Bowling Congress also announced its Hall of Fame inductees. Patty Ann established a long list of accomplishments, including the 1989 Team USA National Amateur Championship. Robin Romeo is a 6-time WIBC All-American, winning 13 professional titles and more than $500,000. The American Bowling Congress will celebrate its centennial in '95, and let's go back in time with an ABC time capsule.
Salesmanship, individualism. People called him Baum, and he was ABC's 3rd secretary. Elmer Baumgarten took the helm in 1931 and steered the Congress in new directions. He personally financed trips to the Far West to recruit members, and it worked. During his term as secretary, membership increased from 32,000 to 320,000. Baum was a hardliner when it came to rules and specifications. He did not tolerate tampering with equipment or playing conditions, and was known to confront anyone who attacked the integrity of the game. One of Baumgarten's legacies was the establishment of an official publication of the Congress. The Bowlers Journal of Chicago was known as ABC's official publication, but when it changed from weekly to monthly, Baum led the drive for ABC to start its own publication. The ABC Bulletin came into existence in October 1934. It later became Bowling Magazine, one of the premier bowling publications in the world, currently read by more than 150,000 subscribers.
We'll be back with the championship match right after these Medaling Stadium.
And it's the 5th frame of the second game, and this is the one that got him going right here. This is Junior Aguayo, the anchor man for Bowlers Connection. You can see the late carry on the 4, the 7, and that's what got the team pumped. And from that point, they strung 3 strikes, and that was the turning point in that opening match.
And we are set for the championship with Bowlers Depot, qualified number 1, going against Bowlers Connection. And this is Steve Gagliano. Steve, a financial advisor from Carlsbad, California, works for Prudential, 29 years of age. Nice way to get it off.
That's the way to start. Now, this team has been strong all the way through. They were right there all the way through the qualifying rounds. They were there all the way through the match play. They only lost 1 match. They were 8-1 in the match play. So you know that they've got confidence, and you know they feel they can perform well. They're going to be very difficult to beat. Here's the team with all the enthusiasm. This is the guy that gets them going. Goes right up that second arrow, and he's the spark plug of this team. He's the guy that gets everybody pumped up and keeps them that way.
He's been rock solid leading off. Azumi has it on the way, and yes! Another strike for Azumi. Here is the lineup for Bowlers Depot, brought to you by Contour Power Grips, pioneers of the finger grip industry. More pros you know choose Contour Power Grips. You should too. Charlie Whitaker.
Charlie's the captain of this team. He's the one that puts it together. Opening jitters, you might say, and it seems like every team has to get by those first 5 frames, at least 1 ball in front of the cameras and this huge crowd to get loose. And this is one of our better crowds, Jay. I mean, there's standing room only here at Fountain Bowl.
Always nice to come here. Dave Osborne and Vince Rodriguez and all their people do a great job.
It's a pretty easy spare here. Only the 9 pins. Good cover.
Bowlers Connection with that 397-385 victory over the shop. Is a little high.
Well, he was just a little out of time with that one. He got his swing out a little wider than he normally does and just couldn't get it back in position. But
some of the other finishers in 10th place, the Corbin Bowl. That team had some fun here. Oracle on that team, of course, from Anaheim. Ashers, they finished 9th. Barry right there in the middle.
Another very strong team there.
Desert Bowlers from Mesa, Arizona, finishing 8th. And the spare is picked up nicely by Rob Borland. Here's our first look at Joel Reyes. Reyes is the youngest competitor in the championship finals, 20 years old, a student at San Diego State. Wants to be a physical therapist. He is from San Diego, and the lefty. Nicely done.
And I watched him warming up for this match, practicing earlier, and he never missed the pocket. Every ball they threw was just like that one. So we can expect him to continue doing that. 20 years old, he didn't show any nerves at all, did he?
Bruce Harner. A strike for Harner.
That's Bruce. The high hard one from Bruce.
And we'll return with more right after this. From the San Diego area. He strikes.
And now it looks like his arm's about 8 feet long the way he swings it. He's got a unique style. He can just make that swing look like it goes on forever, but he sure can get the job done.
Eddie Stubbs.
Guys are going to have sore hands when this is over, Jay, win or lose.
They're high-fiving at something fierce, aren't they?
They sure are.
The anchor man for Bowlers Depot, Mike Taylor, 9 PBA regional titles. He was the '83 PBA Western Region Rookie of the Year. He's from San Diego, an accomplished bowler.
And Mike's father, Lee Taylor, another very fine player, PBA member. So it just runs in the family, Jay. This guy can really bowl. He's outstanding talent. That one got away from him. Just got it down the lane a little bit early. Mike a little quick to the foul line that time and set it down early. And when you set it down early, it generally goes left.
The winning team gets $2,500 plus the Grand Championship package, the Brunswick bowling balls, the Lynn shoes, the championship rings, a sponsors award, the airline tickets, the round-trip ticket to the Grand Championship next July for that projected $150,000 prize fund. Picked him off.
Well, he feels pretty fortunate with that. That's not the kind of spare you want to have in your opening shot right there at the 5'9", and he feels lucky to get away with that one. You can see him take the deep breath and let that air out. And here's another look at Junior. Junior looks pretty relaxed to me. Got it up high, the 369, excuse me, the 3610. Another spare where you want to get the ball between the 3 and the 6. Let the pin action take out the 10. Ideally, you go cross lane. Don't hook it, just throw it fairly straight. Try to be accurate. Hooked it and got away with it.
Some more teams. Fast Lanes Pro Shop from San Marcos, California, finishing 7th here. In 6th place, the Final Touch Garments team from Pasadena. From Elma, Washington, the Elma Lanes finished in 5th place. And finishing 4th, Zook's Pro Shop from Sun City, California. Here's Gagliano.
Hit him thin and watch him spin.
You bet. Any way you can get the job done.
Well, he got some great pin action. The head pin did a lot of damage to the 4, 5, 7 there. Here's a look at it. Watch the head pin go to the wall, comes back, kicks out the 4, the 5, and the 7. That's how sweet it is. Dick Weber made a living doing that.
Yes, he did.
Nobody was better than Dick Weber at that wall shot.
They were kidding Phil a little bit there. He said, that's the way I planned it. Gino Zumi.
Right up that second arrow. He just never
Hasn't he been brilliant in this match? The Brunswick World Team Bowling Challenge. We'll be back right after this. And Jay Randolph with you as we watch Charlie Whitaker. Only 1 pin separating these teams right now. The strike for Whitaker. They were 8-1 in match play. The Bowlers Depot qualifying number 1. Here's the way it went round by 1. Bowlers Depot right up on the top most of the way. The shop right up there. Look at the connection. What a move they made.
They were all over the place. Looks like somebody's phone number.
And the strike. Rob Borland comes through.
We've got ourselves a real match right here, Jay. This is 10 guys that, if you don't know them personally, you probably don't know these names, but I'll tell you what, there's a lot of talent out there, and they're getting the job done.
Yes, sir. This is team competition, the Baker format at its best. 1 pin the difference right now.
at 7. Made a great shot.
Joel Reyes. Joel, a member of the '94 All-California Collegiate Japan Tour team.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, and they told me he really enjoyed the opportunity to participate with that team. It was a good experience for him.
Well, Joel go cross lane here. Throw it pretty hard, pretty straight. You don't need to hook it to hit your spare. Just got to hit him. And talk about throwing it hard and straight. This guy can do it and still make it hit. He gets a lot of revolutions. Tremendous ball speed. Big, strong Bruce. Right up off the corner here. Lets it go. Oops. Got a little too much of that one.
A problem for Bruce Harner.
4-6-10. Well, that's it's a tough way to end a string of strikes, but the idea here is to get as many of these as you can. And so he'll throw it pretty hard right at the 6-10. Hope one of them will bounce out of the pit and kick out the 4.
Qualifying averages. You see the qualifying on the left there and the Baker on the right. For our top 3 teams, we've mentioned the match play records. And it got in there.
I love his arm swing. He's fun to watch. He's got that real fluid arm swing. His footwork, he times it so well. Gets to the foul line and just stays right with it. Watch how free and easy this arm swing is. Nice and loose and relaxed. And the foot gets there, the foul line, he plants it, gets through the shot with tremendous rotation. And that's why you get that kind of pin action.
Here's Eddie Stubbs. And Eddie comes right back.
Eddie's finally getting into it. He's really ready now. This team is pumped. They had that big split there by Bruce, but they overcame that in a hurry. They're ready to go. Boy, what a match this is going to be. This is going to come, I bet you, down to that 10th frame again in that second game. 2 games, total pins, and it might come down to this guy against Junior. And boy, that'll be something to see.
Here's Mike Taylor. 9 PBA regional titles to his credit.
Seems like every time I watched him in match play throughout the tournament, he'd get up in the 10th frame and throw a couple of strikes for him. So if it comes down to that 10th frame, second game, when they need it, this is a guy I wouldn't mind counting on him to get it for me.
Well, he's left the 7 here. A little disappointed. In fact, more than a little disappointed, I guess.
Well, you know, what they tell me is that you say he was Rookie of the Year back in 1983 in the PBA Western Region. They say he's the consensus Bowler of the Year in the Western Region this year. He's won 3 times already in the regional term this year.
There's Vince Rodriguez, the manager here at Fountain Bowl. Good hot dogs here.
You like the hot dogs, huh?
Yeah, with the chili. Just what I need these days, right? Didn't get there with that one.
Mike's a little confused.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, 2-14's not a bad start. We'll see what we'll see if Junior can give his team a lead or at least keep it close. They're going at a 2:02 pace, possibility of 2:22 if he can strike it out.
The strike for Aguayo. This team trying to go from the number 3 position all the way to the championship and get the trip to Reno.
Well, just 6 matches ago, they were in 10th place.
It's hard to believe.
And here they are, bowling for the championship.
When you're hot, and when you get it going in this Baker system, and you can create the chemistry with your teammates, it is amazing what can happen.
Well, it'll be something they'll never forget, win or lose, because they've really had a time in this tournament. They didn't expect to get anywhere near this far, and they're bowling great.
He's feeling it.
Boy, are they into it.
They really are. They're having some fun.
Crowd's buzzing. Boy, the crowd just can't believe it either, because they just weren't expected to do this well. But here they are, one game away from winning this tournament and a chance to go to Reno and maybe be the World Team Challenge champions. Who knows?
Doesn't get any better than that. What a finish.
Makes my hands hurt just watching those guys slap those hands.
And an 8-pin lead for Bowlers Connection. And let's go down to Damon Cardwell.
We're here with Mike Taylor. Mike, 214's a nice start. Did you guys choose to start on 49 because that was your favorite lane?
Well, no, we chose to start in this lane because I want to finish the match on lane 50. I clutched some games out today for our team, but the team's been holding me up, and hopefully I'll be able to clutch it out today in this last game.
Just the sort of move made of confidence. Back to you, Jay.
All right, Earl talked about the fact that this may come down to the last frame. Bowlers Connection leads by 8. 1 game to play. That's coming match. Here has been the rock-solid leader to start things off for Bowlers Connection, Gene Azumi.
Got to hurry. It's the first time he's missed in about 3 days, I think, Jay. Leaves a tough spare, 2-4-5. A lot of ways to play this shot. The ideal way would be to go down the left side of the lane and try to hit, just keep it around the third arrow on the left, throw it pretty straight, eliminate the possibility of chopping the spare. Let's see how Gene plays it. Some players like to play it off the strike line. Playing it off the strike line, and he covered it. A little nervous there, but he got away with it.
A very important spare.
It's always good to get out of the gate with a mark.
Yes, indeed. Steve Gagliano. Steve with a league average of 225.
You can see this hand going in the ball. A very unique grip because he had an accident, lost part of 2 fingers there. He uses only the forefinger and the middle finger to grip the ball. Gets a lot of roll. Here's the result.
A strike for Gagliano to lead it off for Bowlers Depot.
Now, there was another bowler that years ago that bowled that way and was pretty successful by the name of Billy Hardwick, Hall of Fame bowler. So, you know, it must work.
Well, you do with what you have. Sometimes,
That's right.
You know, people are able to overcome those situations in fine fashion. It's always nice to see. Borland shot short. Now all of a sudden I feel, Earl, a little bit of the pressure that must be creeping in for Bowlers Connection. Upcoming will be in St. Charles, Missouri, December 4th and 5th. San Antonio. We already have 60 teams entered in St. Petersburg. We'll be in the Bay Area there in January. Hope to see you along the tour.
Yep, and if you like the action, you better become part of it. You better get your entries in early because these are filling up fast.
And of course, we have the upcoming women's event, Las Vegas, Nevada, in late January, in April at Indianapolis, Indiana, and June in Baltimore, Maryland. Call 414-423-3415. Talk to Tom Bodecker about your entry.
Well, got a good break there. Had the 4-7-10. The last pin to fall was the 10. You have to feel kind of fortunate when you hit the middle of the head pin and you leave an easy spare like only the 4-7.
Charlie Whitaker. No 300 games today, but a reminder, of course, that Bud Light has the $25,000 perfect game challenge in our Brunswick World Team Bowling Challenge, and at Reno it'll be $100,000 perfect game. Bruce Harner.
Gotta hurry. Looked like he lost that one off his hand a little bit. Just got off a little bit early. Never had a chance to kind of lift it and jerk it up to the head pin, and
left the 4-9.
Well, this is the 1-8. Really is what it is. The angle you're at, Jay, it looks like
I'm
the 4-9.
sitting on the other side. That's right.
Yeah, it's the 1-8, and this is not an easy spare. He has to hit the head pin and have the ball bounce into the 8. Like that.
Very, very good job there.
All right, watch this left-hander now. This is one of the premier young left-handers on the West Coast, and he can really get the job done. Joel Reyes, watch the style, the good arm swing, good balance at the foul line. Right there. Good follow-through and good reaction.
And a very big strike for them.
Well, we've got us a match here. This is going to come right down to the wire from the looks of it. And, well, it just could come down to the point where Mike Taylor will have a chance to prove whether he can perform when he needs to for his team. He's done it. I watched him in match play throughout the day today, and he did perform well in the clutch. And it might come down to a contest between him and Junior Aguero. I bet he wishes that 4-pin had fallen down, but it didn't. He still has the 2-4-5 here, and that 4-pin runs his machine, picks it up, sets it down back off spot with a little wiggle on it, just like it was when it picked it up.
Eddie, as you mentioned, the captain of this Bowlers Connection team. All right, picks up the spare. Bowlers Connection in the blue and gray shirts, and Bowlers Depot in their black and gold. Al Collins. All right. Well, there is Steve Shukawa and Paul Kim here from the Japanese Bowlers Association. Paul Kim, the ABC director from this area. He is Korean.
Oh, boy.
10-pin just wouldn't go down.
He had pins going from all over the place there. He had the head pin come off the sideboards and come across the lane, and it looked like he was going to destroy that 10-pin, and nothing touched it.
Bowlers Connection defeating the Shop. Shop finishing third and picking up $2,500 in prize money.
Boy, these guys don't waste any time. It's moving right along, isn't it, Jay? They get up, they do the job, and that's the way you're supposed to play this game. Supposed to get up there when it's your turn, set your feet, make your determinations of what you're going to do before you get on the approach, and get up and go ahead and do it. Just like that. Just see Mike Taylor. He got up, set himself, made the shot.
Boy, now look at the change in the faces of this Bowlers Depot team. Back for the exciting finish right after these messages. While we are away, Gene Azumi with a strike. Steve Gagliano left the 2-4, picked up the spare. And here is Rob Borland. Looking good.
Here they come again. Here they come again. They're only a mistake from leading this match. Anything can happen. Boy, how often we say that and how often it does in the Baker system.
The captain of the Bowlers Depot team, Charlie Whitaker.
Oh, now here it is.
Oh, boy.
5-10. Ball got completely away
to fill the frames here, and right now a problem.
Right. Ball got away from him. Went hard left. Threw it for the wall shot on the crossover. We'll look at it again. Watch the head pin go to the wall. Gets kind of tangled up here coming off the wall. You see the double pin action there and leaves the 5-10. Just got to slide the 5 into the 10. A real hard shot for a right-handed bowler. Especially in this situation. Well, here we are. We're down to it's a one-ball match. That's all it is. It's one shot away from being Bowlers Connection taking the lead again.
Bowlers Depot leading by 5.
See, hard and straight, right at him. Here we go. Oh, the 7-pin wiggling. My, what a match this is going to be. We're going to see it come down again. Maybe to the anchorman, Jay, and boy, that's going to be fun. Mike Taylor against Junior Aguayo. Got to make the spares now. Fill the frames. Cross lane at the 7-pin. If anybody can throw it hard and straight, this is the guy who can do it. Well, as you bowl, remember, you only get 2 chances each game to help your team. Then you sit down and just cheer for the other guys. You pat them on the back. You try to get them pumped up, make them feel like they've got to make that good shot because we're all counting on you. And here's a 20-year-old young man right now in a key position for his team. They need him to strike.
Joel Reyes has it on the way. Yes.
Oh, my.
Youth will be served.
Well, you know, it's fun to watch the pro bowlers on television perform, but these guys are even more fun, and I'll tell you why. Because they're amateur bowlers. Most of them have never been on television before, and they're showing you what it's like to perform under extreme pressure because they do feel pressure.
And it's a great kick for them. Here's Eddie Stubbs.
All right, back-to-back. Good shots and no luck. They left a 7-pin for the lefty, and then Eddie gets up and leaves the 4-pin on what is a good shot. Bowlers Depot, again, is in the driver's seat with the strike up in the 8th frame. Should they strike in the 9th, it'll come down to the 10th frame for the championship.
And now we come to Al Cullens. The big guy I mentioned, long and lanky.
Yeah, I like this guy's game, and he's got the kind of game that performs well under pressure, and they really need the strike. If they get this strike, it's a commanding lead going into the 10th frame for their anchorman.
He did it. Look at that.
Boy, are they really flying high. Both these teams very emotional. Both teams capable of performing well under pressure, and now it comes down to the 10th frame.
We've seen both teams take advantage of breaks here in this final game. When they had the opening, they stepped in.
They sure did.
It's a 17-pin lead for Bowlers Depot. And here we go with Junior Aguayo. And Junior has left the 10, and Bowlers Depot, who looks like they are headed for Reno.
Now, this is one of the few times we didn't see that man-to-man fifth place, or excuse me, anchorman confrontation for the championship, but it almost got there. It was one strike away from being that.
Mike Taylor and his teammates looking up at the scoreboard. Aguayo finishing things off for Bowlers Connection. Got to give these fellas a lot of credit. My goodness, they came from nowhere.
Well, as so often happens, we see these powerful teams come into the tournament, Jay, and they bowl extremely well in the qualifying, get into the match play, and they just can't gel. And that's what we saw the shop do in this particular event. We saw 2 teams here that, if you didn't know Mike Taylor, his father Lee Taylor, and you probably never heard of Mike Taylor around the country, but the rest of these guys are probably not known unless you were from California area, and they performed extremely well when they had to. And that's what this is all about, the Baker system.
That's the finishing touch. And the championship for Bowlers Depot of San Diego, California.
Now here's a shot that right now this makes for a lot of happy people, not only on the team, but also in the stadium right here.
Look at this reaction. He knew it. Yes.
Just set a new record for the vertical leap.
Gagliana, Whitaker, Reyes, Cullens, and Taylor, the members of this Bowlers Depot team. He struck on his second ball and finishing it up here now. And This team will be in the Grand Championship next July in Reno. And this big crowd who has enjoyed wonderful bowling competition, congratulating Bowlers Depot, our champions. We'll be back to talk with our champions right after these messages. Won the championship. Nice going, and we're looking forward to seeing you in Reno. First of all, to present the plaque, Paul France from Brunswick.
On behalf of Brunswick, we'd like to congratulate all of you on a great tournament. In addition to the plaque, you'll receive a Brunswick bowling ball of your choice. Again, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And
all right, Mike, we'll let you pass this right over here. Let me bring in Dave Osborne to present the rings.
Mike, on behalf of everyone here at Fountain Bowl, I just want to say nice bowling. You guys really did a great job of team bowling. Thank you, and good luck next year again, okay?
Thanks for all your help this week. Your folks were great. And finally, here is Linda Hatton to present the Lynn Shoe.
On behalf of Lynn Shoes and Cal Bowling Supply, I'd like to congratulate you on your win with a special edition pair of shoes. Congratulations.
Thank you. All right. Mike, this was a splendid championship, and we thought it might go to the wire, but the man in the ninth frame set it up nicely.
Yes, he did, and also all of my other teammates. It was a total team effort, and it definitely took some pressure off me, and it was just fantastic. They all bowled great.
Nice going. Congratulations, and good luck in Reno.